Hey, I'm on the road. Heading back from Tanger Outlets looking for a thing. Thought it was a law enforcement uniform store, and it wasn't. I have to fix my thing that put my shield and my citation bars together with. So um, it wore out and cracked. So and glue don't work. So I'm gonna have to order it online. That's just what it comes down to. Tell you what I'm gonna be talking to you about today. It is the liberal narrative about global climate change and how much bullshit it is, and how they create much of the issues that they then point a finger at and saying, "Oh, this is happening. This is horrible," and how they invent new terminology. They'll create new words. They call it. Monsoon season has existed forever, in California, before any kind of development of technology. Back when the monsoon season is, but now they got a new name for it, and the new name is atmospheric rivers. And these atmospheric rivers are caused by the oceanic currents that we have caused to go up by so much. And it's true, the ocean currents cause these monsoons. What they don't tell you is if we did this, the temperature in certain regions of the Pacific Ocean would have to be, the ambient temperature would have to be like 200 degrees, and the hottest place on Earth is 140 in the Sudan and in Libya. It's 140. In fact, where it gets to be 140 is one of the worst areas of Libya. One of the worst areas of Libya, and so how's the water getting heated to that extent? That it's volcanoes that are under the water. That there's an area of the South Pacific. It's called the Ring of Fire, and there are volcanoes everywhere. It goes from Hawaii to down around New Zealand to like Easter Island. At one time it was referred to as the Polynesian Triangle. So right now they're getting hit with a lot of snow. More snow than we ever had before. It's always more rain than ever had before. More snow. This hasn't happened before. Guess what? It's happened before. It's happened before. These regions that are getting hit right now, they were known for skiing and stuff like that. Places, Big Bear and all that. So, yeah, people are stuck because it's a bad snowstorm. We've had bad snowstorms in a lot of places. I was working as a police officer for 72 hours straight during a very bad blizzard back in the 80s. I didn't get relieved for 72 hours, and that was not I don't want to say it wasn't fun, because I really enjoy. It sounds weird, but I really enjoyed that duty because it was just something I would always take with me the rest of my life. Some of the stuff that we had to do, me and other officers. And so I really, but yes, they keep saying that this hasn't happened before and that hasn't happened before, and they make up new things called bomb cyclones and come on, Dick, let me over. You come up with these new terms called bomb cyclones and atmospheric rivers. They change the determination of when a named storm becomes a named storm. Because up until the end of the last century, the storm had to be so far west of that and so far north in longitude and latitude had to be hurricane strength to get a name. And now they're naming tropical and subtropical storms that don't even come near our coast, and they've run out of names. And but people are led to believe that it's because there's more storms. It's not more storms. It's the way they categorize them. It's how they changed how to categorize them. And it's just one lie after another to push this narrative of fucking stupidity, really. They talk about the drought in Southern California. Some of the stuff that he had talked about California, Los Angeles, in the 1980s had 31 reservoirs and dams for the drinking water for the people in Los Angeles. And at that time, there was 8 point some million people living there. And 20 years later, they don't have, instead of having 31 reservoirs, they have 14. And they have almost 10 million people. So guess what? You have less water for more people. You're going to go through it quicker. Your reservoirs are going to go down. They're going to be depleted because they tore down reservoirs to create wetlands for the three-nippled horny toad. They had the three-nippled horny toad and some stupid ass turtle. That's what they did. They tore down, so now they have less water, and that's what they're doing all over that state. There's people complaining about the condition of Lake Mead. The rivers that fed Lake Mead had their own dams and their own reservoirs, and that way they can control the amount of water feeding into Lake Mead. Then also Lake Mead can control how much water comes out because of the dams. That's what dams are for. Dams are to regulate the water and to prevent floods. And upstream in Lake Mead, those dams are gone. So they don't have this constant, because of that, you don't have the constant flow of water into Lake Mead. On top of that, they intentionally lowered the level of Lake Mead by opening the gates and lowering them. So this is the problem there. Then you have another problem in another part of the state where they want to take out 4 dams. Why they want to take out 4 dams? Because Cochise and Hiawatha and Sitting Bull want to catch salmon. Well, catch salmon where they go to, all right? Where their migratory path ends. No, they want to take out 4 dams so that they can catch this Pacific salmon on the tribal land, so that the salmon our salmon can come to the tribal land. Well, you know what? Build some frickin' fish ladders. Stop destroying infrastructure for stupid reasons. The state of California has destroyed so much infrastructure, particularly when it comes to water and irrigation. There's areas that are literally being reclaimed by the Mojave Desert. The Mojave Desert is taking back land because they don't have the irrigation. They don't have the water for people to drink. And this is the kind of crap that goes on. And now the city of Las Vegas, because they've been affected peripherally by the games that California's been playing, they now are going to limit how much water you're allowed to use in a year, and if you use more than that, they're going to cut you off. And they're saying that an average family uses 130,000. Well, they're going to allow people to have up to 130,000 gallons a year, a family of 4. Well, a family of 4 consumes about 160. So you're 30,000 gallons short of what a normal family of 4 consumes. It's all this crap with that they're pushing about devices, fixtures that conserve water. Washing machines now that don't use enough water to get clothing clean, and then they want us to stop using anything that's get natural gas. They require in California these, like I said, the low emission washing machines. You end up having to wash your clothes twice to get it clean. Same thing with dishwashers. California has these dishwashers. You gotta wash your dishes twice to get them clean. So you're not saving any money because you're just sending it through the cycle twice. All right, and it's like these economy toilets that have been around for years. It's supposed to save money. All right. Hold on a second. I got idiots in SUVs. People who drive Suburbans and Expeditions are freaking idiots. But getting back to this whole thing with the economy toilets. Got to get a little graphic here, but I'll tell you what, when I pitch a loaf, it takes 3 flushes. It just does. So how am I saving water? Because I have to stand there and flush 2 additional times. And that's not even counting the Klingons. No, I'm not talking about the aliens from Star Trek. I'm talking about the Klingons on the bowl. So, because there's not enough water pressure to get that away, guess what I got to do? I got to break out a brush. I mean, I know it's a bit graphic, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm sure there's more. I'm not the only guy who. So, everything they try to do, they think they're making a difference. They're not. They're delusional. They're beyond delusional with their thinking about that they're making anything better, especially when they are intentionally doing things to make things look worse, like they've done around California. Where I used to live, up in Reading, Pennsylvania, we had this really bad hurricane in 1972, Hurricane Agnes. Flooded the entire western part of the city, and the West Shore bypass and the Penn Street Bridge. It was all underwater. So the Army Corps of Engineers built a dam, Blue Marsh Lake, located north of the city on the Tulpehocken Creek. Now the basin of this dam was much bigger than its average volume, and that was because it was to hold off, to retain any future flooding, and to keep from the Tulpehocken Creek coming and flood, and then flooding the Schuylkill River. So now what they do when they get a storm is they lower the level of the dam. Well, why are you lowering? Because the basin is there, the volume is there to hold the hurricane. It was designed to hold 1.5 times Hurricane Agnes. But now every time we get a bad storm, a hurricane, a tropical storm, they lower the dam, and by doing so, they artificially increase the level of the Tulpehocken Creek and the Schuylkill River. So when the storm comes, the dam doesn't flood. The water is low in the dam, but Reading is underwater, and the worst flooding I've seen in my lifetime has happened in the last 20 years in Reading, and that's because they would lower Blue Marsh Lake for no apparent reason, and that didn't just affect Reading. It didn't. That flooding, as it peaked and went down, it went downstream. So the Schuylkill River would then you'd go down to an area like Douglasville, and would be parts of Douglasville would be underwater, and parts of Pennsylvania 724 would be underwater, and then you go further down, and then you get to the Pottstown, and Pottstown will then get flooded, and as it goes down in Pottstown, it just keeps going further down the stream, goes to Phoenixville, goes to Valley Forge National Park, then even further down Schuylkill River, all the way down the Schuylkill Expressway underwater, and it'll go all the way down into Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, Schuylkill Expressway would be underwater. I-495 would be underwater. All this, all the way down until it hits the Delaware River. The stadium complex would get flooded, and all that was because the Corps of Engineers, under whose orders I don't know, brought down the level of Blue Marsh Lake, instead of leaving it the way it was. Because if they would have left it the way it was, the basin would have retained the water, and then after the storm was over, they could have gradually released that water into the Tulpehocken Creek and the Schuylkill River, and there would not have been any flooding. So they intentionally raised the level of the Schuylkill River and the Tulpehocken Creek, and by doing so caused all that damage, and they knew they were doing it. That's what's so insidious about it. They're actually causing suffering to try to prove their point, and like that all over the country. Every time I turn around, you can look and find and see what the hell they're doing. I mean, I'm not making up that they tore down 16 reservoirs around Los Angeles. 16 of them that were built by Mulholland, the guy who used to be the water and their lake and reservoir guy. He built 30. They built 31. Well, actually, he built 32, and one of them failed. But that was the only one that failed. Most of these have been removed by the Democrats, and they say shit to mislead you. They make up new terms, and don't believe it. And you don't believe me? Check out what I say. Check out what I'm saying. Look up about the reservoirs. Look up about these lakes that they want to take out. These dams they want to take out. They're the ones who are actually damaging the ecosystem primarily in the state of California and peripherally the states of Nevada and New Mexico. So, yeah. All right, that's about it. Stay safe. God bless.